Klinge sind die Hatbüsa. Kleka Kina, Sharon Shorty Hatbüsa. Klinge Kina, Gramma Susie Hatbüsa. Kokaton Shawu, after Baskin Daddy. Kunstish, Igor Quentin. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Excuse the delay. I've got technical issues, as you can see. So much fun. I'm very happy to be here at the Sharing Our Knowledge gathering. I want to thank the committee and Alice Taff and everybody who invited me here to share my story about my comedy career. I started in, I should say, I'm born and raised in the Yukon Territory, but my ancestry comes from Juneau, as my grandma Carrie would say, or Coast Indian. She always told us that. So I was raised a lot with my two grandmothers, one on my mom's side, who's Tlingit, and my dad's side is Athabaskan. And the cool thing is both of them were storytellers. And I spent a lot of time with both of them, and they would tell me stories all the time. And I was always around these elders, these wonderful elders, and it was usually two older ladies who were always sitting there talking in their language and laughing and laughing. And I always wondered, what are they talking about? It looks like so much fun. So that was always in my mind, and I always spent time with elders. We'd always travel and visit all over and visit people. Back when we used to visit, remember that? We weren't on Facebook, we weren't on Instagram, and things just happened and we had a good time, and we'd sit there and watch elders making snowshoes or sewing or fixing fish nets. And that's the privilege I had growing up in the Yukon. We still had that lifestyle around us all the time. And so time come, my grandma would tell me stories, day and night, all day, all night. Sometimes, even in my 20s, she'd be telling me a story and I'd fall asleep. When I wake up, she'd continue the story. She told stories all the time. I say, in the 25 years, she told me stories like that all the time, and she never repeated a story once, you know that? I try to think of the amount of stories that was in her. Even the first time that she ever came to Juneau, she'd never been there, but she heard all these stories from her mom and dad. And so when they were on the ferry from Skagway with my mom, she would tell my mom, okay, now around this corner is going to be this, you're going to see this hill here and this. And she would have told her all the way into Juneau the way it was, and she had never been. And so it just told me how much that she had learned from her family, and so much, so vivid was in her mind that she could navigate through those waters, even if never have been there. And even when she got to Juneau, they were looking for the Russian Orthodox Church, because that's where they were, my great-grandparents were baptized and married. And my mom was trying to look on the map and find it, and my grandma said, no, you go down here and you go up that hill, and she'll be right there. And sure enough, there it was. So being around those kind of wonderful elders and hearing all these stories, but also hearing the humor. And when I was in my 20s in Canada, and I'm sure here in this side, two states, there was such a negative portrayal of First Nations or Native Americans in the mainstream media. And I knew that those things were true, but I also knew there was tremendous humor in our community. And my grandma had suffered so many tragedies, but yet she always had her humor and always laughing at things and learning new things, especially Kleka ways, things that we had to learn. You look at Skookum Jim, who's a co-discoverer of gold in the Klondike. For example, when we started getting Kleka goods coming in, he bought some soap and he was washing his shirt, and his shirt wasn't getting clean, it was just all greasy. And he come and said, Mrs. Johns, come here. How come my shirt not getting clean? It's supposed to be soap, I heard. She looked at it, she says, because you're using cheese. Oh, he's like, wow. of stories that I just always heard growing up. So my grandma told me these stories, and one day she said, "You go downtown and tell a story for me," because she couldn't get around. And I said, "Grandma, I don't know any stories." She said, "Weren't you listening?" So I thought, okay. So I went downtown, I was like, "Oh, there was a raven, he flew around." Very scared. But eventually I got comfortable to share the stories that she had told me and my other grandma. So as I was doing these stories, a producer came, and there's a show in Whitehorse at the Yukon Arts Center. It's called The Longest Night, December 21st. And it's kind of close to Christmas, so they'd asked me, "Can you tell a First Nation story about Christmas?" And I said, "Huh? We didn't have Christmas." So I thought about it, and I said, "Well, how about this? How about if we get two old ladies to share a story about their first Christmas and what that was like for them?" Because these are the elders that were just on the transition from the old way to the new ways. And he said, "Okay, let's do that." And he said, "Well, what's their names? I'm going to put their names in the program." I said, "Susie and Sarah." He said, "Okay." And then he made me write a script, because he's a producer and everything has to be timed out and all that. So I wrote a script, and he approved it, and we rehearsed it, and we had it all down, and we were going to do this one show December 21st, 1995. So then we get up on stage, and we didn't remember one word. So we just went on and on and on, and we totally threw the script out and just had a good old time. So Grandma Sarah, my stage partner, she actually her grandma was roommates with my grandma at the old folks home at the same time. So there was some kind of natural comedy going on at the same time that her and I were roommates. And when they passed on, we missed our grandmothers, and just to comfort ourselves, we would talk like them. And I think that was the start of our act. So I'm going to play a few segments. And this is the first time we appeared on TV, and it was a performance at Native Folklore Show, which is a big First Nation show in Whitehorse in February during our Rendezvous Festival. Just want to say, for the quality of the video, I'm sorry, there's a hissing sound on it, so just apologies.
Hello, how are you? It's good to see you. Yeah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello, it's good to see you, huh? It's good, yes.
Where are you from?
Can't you know I'm from Teslin?
Me, I'm from Champagne. Me, Southern Tushole Indian girls.
We've been friends long time, eh?
Oh, just when we were little girls, eh?
Yeah.
Che, that Boppy still chasing around since we were young.
No, you don't talk about him.
Hey, that Boppa.
Hey, he tried to grab me.
Che, Marlama, I tell him, I'm gonna club you, put us on, Bob.
That's a big stick.
Yes, it's my club.
Yeah. And we used to go potlatch together.
Oh,
Our
yes.
family, they travel around.
Used
Yeah.
to go all the way up to Old Dawson Trail, eh? You gotta go Dawson Trail to get a Dawson big paper potlatch there. Just like when you go Alaska, eh?
Yeah.
Susie.
Lots of
Oh,
food.
they treat you good.
Lots of blankets. They even give you a gun.
Yes, they give you
Yeah.
gun if you
Oh,
really good tight torn paper.
Good potlatch.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can't Indian pretty high torn. They treat us good in Alaska.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, we've got relations there.
As our people up there too, huh?
We'll
Yeah.
go anywhere.
Okay, well, we'll leave you two alone now, and we look forward to your stories tonight, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's a good.
That's good now, eh? It's hot too. We're gonna take some clothes
Boy, that's nice, Parker.
Thank you.
That's nice.
Yes, that's good. Yes.
Well, don't you have some water?
Yes, just wait a minute.
I'm tired.
I said, take it easy, Susie. I'm a little bit older than you. Hey, you want water?
Finally.
That's good.
It's thirsty.
It's too hot in here, guys.
Thank you. There. Finally, I find you. Oh.
Gee, where you be? I'm supposed to see you. I thought I lost you, you know. I got scared.
That cab, you just drive around. I said, that place up there, we're going to go fiddle contest. See?
Yes. Hey.
Boy, that's a nice purse. You make that one?
Oh, yes.
You're going to put it in a contest?
Oh, no. I'm going to show you. This is what I'm going to put in a contest.
Oh.
I'll make it.
Boy, that's pretty
Yes, I know it's good.
Your stick's pretty far apart right there, though.
Well, I rushed a little bit.
Oh, you.
I gotta make it before 3 o'clock tomorrow.
That one there looks good, though.
That's good, yes.
Where's mine?
Yes. Where you gonna put in that sewing contest?
Right here.
Yes?
Look at that.
Oh,
Boy, that's a nice one, eh?
gee, where you get those beads? Hinge, Alaska, huh?
Yeah.
Yes. They don't sell those kinds of Hudson Bay, that's for sure.
Look at this. I tan this hide myself.
Yeah?
Well, that's hard work, you know.
Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, yes.
You're darn right.
That's beautiful.
You're going to go to the contest, eh, tomorrow?
Oh, yes.
Oh, you're going to have stew and bunny.
That's good. That's good.
Stew.
Yes, that's good.
Oh, gee. So,
Just like they want to look at my skirt. See?
well, leave it alone. So, you know what? They say, you know what? We got the job. They say they want to hear story. Run the hoots long
Ah, shucks.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yes.
A long time ago. Must be around the time army people here, right?
In 1948.
No, it's 42.
1942?
Yeah.
Shucks.
you're
You're
crazy.
not born then.
You're crazy. We're going to have big party. Run the hoots.
I run a hoot.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're going to
That's
have.
a good time, eh?
They're going to have sweet salt contest. They're going to have snowshoe contest. And they're going to have dog teeth.
Oh, that dog teeth. I'll tell you a story. Yes. Yes.
Well, Holly, just about time to go to a fiddle contest.
Yes, we're gonna go get up a stone.
Yeah. Come on, let's go to a fiddle contest. How long will it try to go? Come on.
Yeah, we're gonna get dressed up then.
Oh, gee.
Hi. You don't dance too hard tonight at the fiddle contest, eh? You?
Hey, I'm tired.
Where's that tall man? He's supposed to fiddle tonight.
That's right.
Sure doing here, head.
Folk fan fiddler, they call it, eh?
Ah, shucks, I put everything on beggars.
You ready to go? Oh, shit.
I tell you, I put it on. Where's my pussy? Tie up anyways.
You ready?
Just right, sweet.
Come on, let's go.
Why? Just because you're younger, you don't have to get smart. Hurry up now, you rat.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You're watching the Native Folklore Show, recorded live at the Yukon Arts Center. Up next...
to see that. So yeah, that was Jackie Bear, who plays Gramma Sarah, and myself, and that's the Yukon Art Center. So on the first show, which said about December 21st, it was mainly there was no First Nations people there except, I think, my mom. And so I wasn't really sure of the reception. And then the second one was at this show, which is folklore, which is 99% First Nations. And during the breaks, we were walking in the, once we get into character, which is putting the hanky and getting the cane, we don't go out of character, we stay in character. And we were walking around in the lobby and we seen some elders, Johnny Smith and some elders, and we were like, hello! We're shaking his hand. And Johnny was looking at us, he said, who are you? I said, I'm Susie from Tesla. And then, because everybody knows everybody, so they're like, Susie from Tesla. And then I go, Sarah from Champagne. Like, Sarah from Champagne. So pretty soon, like, word got around the Yukon, like, these two elders, just show up. Who are they? So there was a lot of gossip about us, and then there ended up being some elder men who really thought we were elder women. So they started chasing us. And one wonderful elder from Mayo, David, he figured it out because he was really dancing hard for us at Moosehide and showing me all his best moves. And then he found out that we were Sharon and Jackie. He said, you girls, you took me. I thought I would get a new girlfriend. You took me. So I said, oh no, we had trouble with young men. Now we got old men chasing us too. And as you could see in some of our things we talk about, Alaska is always part of our, just to recognize our ancestry that is from here. So as time went on, we ended up getting booked all over the place. We started traveling all over Canada. We came to Celebration. I actually was at the first Sharing Our Knowledge conference in Haines 20 years ago, and this is partly why I really wanted to present here, is to just to recognize that, wow, that was 20 years ago already, and how wonderful and informative that was for me as a young Tlingit person, and how much I learned there, and so to come here is really an honor for me. And we ended up even getting booked even further beyond, like in New York at the Lincoln Center. And one of our scariest gigs we ever did was a clown conference. We had to perform for a bunch of clowns. And let me tell you, we were scared. We're going to make clowns laugh? But we did. And for the healing part, I always wondered, like what to do in community, and when there's so much tragedy in our communities, things that happen. And I remember one time in particular in Whitehorse, the First Nation there is Kwamintun, and we lived up there at that time. And this one family in particular had lost a number of people, and there were, I think it was the last son they had lost. And I was like, really, everybody was just heartbroken in the community, and we tried to think, what can we do to help? Like, what's our role? What can we do? And so we went over to the family's house, and the family's all gathering there. Knocked on the door, and they said, come in. So we walked in, it was me and Jackie, and there was, on TV, was Susie and Sarah video that they were watching, and laughing away, and this was the day after they had lost their son. And I thought, well, I think that's my answer to me, is that just keep doing what we do, and do what you can for your community, and just do what you're meant to do, which, as it turns out, meant that I was a storyteller, comedian. And what I do is, this is called character comedy, and it's a big difference from stand-up comedy. And like I said, at that first performance, we ended up throwing away our script, and we ended up just doing improv. And aside from traditional stories or traditional songs, everything else is completely unscripted and improv. And I just would say, if you want to live dangerously, That's the way to do it. Go on stage without a script. So I think I'll play the next clip, and it's from a Canadian TV show called On the Road Again. I might need, hang on. I'm getting higher tech now. Okay, ready? This one? Okay, so this one is a guy who travels around Canada getting different stories, and it aired across Canada. And there's one scene that is, if those of you who've been to Cluckshoe, close to Haines, you might recognize the area that we ended up sharing some stories.
We're on the go, we're on the road again. Come along and share with us the stories of our land. We're gonna drop in on a neighbor and visit with a friend. We're on the move and on the go, we're on the road again. Tonight in Quebec, lights everywhere.
It's a bit of a thrill.
A man who lights up his life with art that is simply electrifying. In Alberta, the race is on to find the grumpiest grouch in town. Excuse me, sir, I'm looking for a gas station. Leave me alone. And in the Yukon, two young women transform themselves into comic elders. We're on the move, we're on the go, we're on the road again. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to our show. This is Macaulay Lodge here in the city of Whitehorse. It's a residence for Yukon seniors. Now, it is where two very dear friends came to live out their final years, Annie Ned and Carrie Jackson. Annie was well over 100 when she passed on, and Carrie was about 20 years younger. Now, they may both be gone, but thanks to their granddaughters, Annie and Carrie live on.
Might as well get some chicken, sir.
Yes, I gotta go Cluckshoe. I need a Colonel saying their chicken.
I spent a lot of time with my grandma. I would be with her like every day, helping her out or sitting there visiting with her.
Yes, that's right.
Hold it.
God, my knee is getting pretty bad now.
One thing about her grandma and my grandma is they both were storytellers. And they were very comical ladies.
Yeah, what do you think, Bucket?
Give us discount, hurry up. I'm old age now.
We always want to do a respectful portrayal because they're our elders.
Elders to us are very sacred, and those two particular ladies are very strong individual women in this community.
Their grandmothers were best friends, and so are they.
Look at the sunshine.
Jackie Bear and Sharon Shorty grew up together.
You want to go see Lester?
Jackie's an actor and singer. Sharon's a playwright. And now it looks like they're going to grow old together, too.
How's it going?
It did sort of come out of the blue. I was scheduled to perform as a storyteller, and I had this idea. I said, well, you know, Jackie does this old lady character, and I do this old lady character. Maybe let's try them together and see what happens.
Bring her all the way from Teslin to see you people here. Yes, that's right. Gonna try to find her husband, eh?
The characters they created are based on their own grandmothers and on all the other female elders they've loved.
Uh-huh. Right, that wind just carried my dress around, sorry.
They called themselves Sarah and Susie.
Covered up.
I covered up all right.
Lots of men here.
No, the elders love it. They get to laugh at themselves. They get to laugh with us.
And they come up to us and hugged us and said, "You're so real. You remind me of my grandma."
Oh, get down! Let Bob be shot! He's shot!
We were concerned that maybe they thought we were making fun of them, which is not what we wanted. We wanted to honor them. We wanted to show how they survived so well using their humor.
Good job!
Has anyone taken any objection, ever?
No way, we're too aggressive in our characters. They don't even have a say.
Now, what is your name?
I'm a Sarah.
You are Sarah.
I'm Susie.
You are Susie.
Yes.
How old are you, Sarah?
I'm 89 years old.
89.
Yes, I'm pretty young yet. Hershey,
I'm
younger.
a young woman. I'm 79 years old.
Still taste man, this one here.
79.
Why don't you?
I
She
can't
wore
take
them out.
man no more. I
She
wear
had
them out.
8 husbands. She wore them out. They're all gone.
I can't take man no
She
more. I
can
don't
settle
want it.
down. Don't run around so much anymore.
Would you get married again?
Well, if it got gold visa card, 4 moose, yes, maybe I think about it, eh?
4 moose
He
and
got
a gold visa.
Yes, and he gotta love my Susie. I don't go nowhere without my Susie.
Sharon and Jackie don't have to go too far to find material for their routine. They always look to the elders for inspiration.
53 years of being married and 14 kids later, look what she's still doing.
Yeah. Maybe this poor man, he stayed there for that one woman 2 years. He work and slave for this family.
From these women, they learn the wisdom and traditions of their people and the healing power of their humor.
He's running around all over the place like a squirrel.
The stories have been passed down through the ages.
It's important to remember where we come from, and it's important not to forget who we are.
You cut fish yet, Stella? Oh, you wait. I want to see, too. Now make sure you do it right. Oh, goodness sake. Well, I'm her elder.
Are you seeking out your elders for material for your act?
Oh, they seek us out.
What happens?
Oh, they bring us clothes, they bring us hankies, dry meat, they tell us what kind of stories, and they say, oh, your dress is a little bit too short, or whatever.
Oh, that was
They really watch us.
Now, you know about Sharon and Jackie, of course.
Oh,
That's our
yes, that's our
grandchild.
grandchild.
They're your grandchildren. Lovely kids.
Oh, yes. They look after us good.
Tell me about them.
Yeah, they're good looking.
Yeah.
Good looking.
And they help out good.
Do you consider it fortunate that you're both so young and you've stumbled upon something that, in fact, you can prepare
last
for
for
years and years to come?
I consider it fortunate that we'll know what we look like when we get older.
Are you feeling any aches or pains? How are you feeling?
No, not too bad today. I'm feeling pretty good. Just my
Well-
stomach a little bit sore, that's all.
My knees swell up, but I'm okay. Yes, I could still run up mountainside.
Goodness sake.
You can still do that?
Oh, yes.
That's what she
That's
said.
not problem.
And you're
No,
how
she
old?
don't lie.
89.
89, and you
If
could run
you
up a
drink
mountain.
balsam water and orange crush, you'll be okay, too.
Do you ever suddenly become Susie and Sarah?
Without our hankies?
Yes, without your hankies.
Absolutely,
All
it's
the
so
time.
hard not to. We'll just see something funny and both of us will click in and turn into those girls, those ladies.
Yes, I get tired out now.
Me too.
I gotta go put Susie and Sarah to bed. Jackie and Sharon want to play. Okay, we gotta go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, you're good.
Thank
people,
you. Thank you. Good luck.
I feel like our grandmas were in the old folks' home and sort of making a plan for us.
Yeah, they were.
So.
I think they were sitting there stewing thinking we were going to be somewhere together, somewhere down the line.
What are the words of wisdom that you would like to share right now?
Respect yourself and other people and honor each other with love. Long time I never see you. That's the way they're going to make the world get better. Yes, that's right.
Me, I'm going to say you have fun once in a while.
Yes, but don't be a party girl all the time.
Go see her.
So long. Oh, it's a good day today. Goodbye. It's time to go home now. I'm tired out.
That guy looks grouchy. The act is actually based on a thing called partnership, and this is a traditional thing that we had in our communities. And it was a partnership between, some people would say like best friends, but it's more than that. It's really a system to help each other out, and it's not just in-laws, it's called partnership. So this is what Susie and Sarah act was based on is that close partnership between friends to help each other in any way that they can. And as it turns out, that's actually what I have with Jackie Bear too, is we have that closeness and partnership to help each other out when needed. So, hello. See, more dozen people coming, that's awesome. So, over the years, we've performed a lot of different places, and one of the things that I picked up on was that people, because people are like, well, can other people relate to the humor? And I thought, well, one thing is that we have this commonality between races is aging. So we've had people come up to us and say, grandma's just like my grandma, and it would be a Chinese lady or a Russian lady with the, like we have the babushkas, I'm pretty sure that's where we got them from. Those ones that we were wearing, ooh, I can't look at his face. The ones that we were wearing, they're actually got gold thread going through them. And I bought them for our first performance, and we call them our showbiz hankies. It was they're on stage and they just shimmer when they're on stage. And this is still the ones we've been wearing ever since 20 years. I still haven't washed it yet. Actually don't know how to, I'm scared to. If anybody got any tips on help me, it would be good. But I wash everything else. So we still continue the act, and then the other part of is we did take a break, Jackie and I. I'll show you one more segment of ours, but we did take a break, and then in the meantime, I could still perform solo, but I prefer to have a back and forth. So I asked a few people to try to work with me, but it's a different thing. You have to be really quick-witted. So I actually got Dwayne O'Coin, who's from Teslin, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen Susie and Charlie. We've been at Celebration many times, and Dwayne's here, but he's in another session right now. And we have a lot of fun together. It's a whole different dynamic, right? It becomes a couple dynamic. And they actually got married at Celebration a couple years ago. But Susie says it doesn't count, it was only in Alaska. So Susie has been like, I guess she's like Raven Clan, so she collects things, and what she does is like to collect husbands. So I don't know what number she's on now, but she got Charlie, but she's got an undying love for Colonel Sanders. She's determined to marry him. So that comes kind of from a bit from my family, because Harlan Sanders did come to Whitehorse in the 1960s, and my brother and my dad saw him, and I tried to go downtown to go see him, but I missed him. But and my grandma, she was obsessed with him in the way. She wanted to eat his KFC like every day, so I had to go down and get her chicken every day. So, Savannah, can you help us set up the other one? Is there any questions before we move on to the next segment? The last segment is. The last segment is, in Canada we have APTN, which is Aboriginal People's Television Network, and before that was Northern Native Broadcasting in the north of Canada, and it featured programs from the Yukon and all across the north, and they had approached us and asked if we would like to do some segments. So we did about maybe 10 segments. I managed to find one because the TV part of the Northern Native Broadcasting is closed down now. I hope to find more of it. So it's just segments of Susie and Sarah throughout the Yukon, and I believe this one is in the radio station, which is called Shone FM. It's a First Nations radio station in Whitehorse. Yes?
Are your performances on YouTube?
Yeah, there's some on YouTube, and you just look up Susie and Sarah or Susie and Charlie. But also there's some on my website, which is SharonShorty.com, or on Facebook. Sorry, I'm on Facebook. Susie and Charlie. And Charlie.
Welcome back to NADA, your eye on the Yukon. Well, our viewers across the Yukon have made it real clear that their favorite elders are Susie and Sarah. Tonight's adventure starts innocently in the NNBY studios.
Well, thanks very much for answering those questions, Sarah and Susie.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Do you mind doing a liner for Shone FM?
Sure, okay.
Oh, sure.
Hello, this is Susie.
This is Sarah.
You're listening to Shone FM.
Yes.
Oh, great. Just have to answer the phone.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's go now. Come on.
Hello.
Goodness sake, it's cleaned out right here.
Where everybody goes, huh? Oh, gee.
Well,
I think
maybe-
we'll come in this way. Go ahead.
Yes, maybe this way, huh? Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Gee, they took Henry, got good voice, huh?
Yes, I like the way he sounds. I listen to him.
I wonder if he sound good when he sing, huh?
Don't know.
Must be.
Where are they anyway?
I don't know where we are.
And a light switch I got here.
I'll get out! Ow!
Oh,
Who's
my.
that?
Sit down.
Oh, that's good. Look at that old
Oh,
fraction
is that
coat.
George? Is that...
Oh, is that George? Oh, my. Look at her
She
hand.
smoke a pipe. That's a good show, eh? What's that in there?
Look at baby.
Child.
Fish shape. Oh, that's the best kind of fish shape, huh?
Yes, it's away. Is that a click shoe or what?
Who's that? No. It's
Look like
Cluck shoe, huh? Yes, it is too, huh?
Oh,
Cluck
Flexion
shoe
car.
country.
Oh,
Oh,
hungry
look
now,
at
eh?
that fish. I want
I'm
to eat.
hungry.
Goodness sake, how long we've been here now? We can't get out.
Oh, they gotta fix the
Look at
net,
them
eh?
make a net. Oh, Tana Moose head. Oh, look at the head.
I try to recognize him, people.
Gee, that's the best way to hunt, huh?
Oh, that's a hard work right there. Yeah, that's a good show.
Let's go now.
Yeah,
Goodness
good
sake.
enough. We gotta find our way out. Oh. Hey, look at that. The picture of paperwork here, eh?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's Vic Newsboy, eh?
Yes,
Look at that,
don't
look
he
at that.
look like that rat, huh?
Boy, it's just my luck. Who's that?
Who's Jerry Juno?
Oh, big shot, eh?
Oh,
Yes.
big shot. This is wife Joan
Yes,
Juno.
Joan.
And Donna Jean, she's
Robert
a
again.
dancing
How many
machine, they
pictures?
say.
How many pictures of Robert in it?
Joanne, that's a Joanne.
Who's that? That must be a new boy.
Moose.
Say, what kind of name anyway? Let's go. All kind of picture themselves. They got nothing else to do but take picture of themselves, I guess.
Well, they gotta have proof they work at it.
Must be.
Come on, let's check it out. Oh, ha! Ah, yeah. Susie, that's your head.
Is that us?
That's my head. Get
We're
you.
on TV.
Yes. There's your face right there.
Where?
Oh, gosh. Where is it? Where is it? I get out.
Grandchild, Vancouver Sunday, we're on the TV.
Oh, yes. Yes. Grandchild Barbara.
Channel 5.
Sir, Susie, Channel 5, turn it on right now.
Yes, we're on TV. We're going to sing your
Yes.
song.
Gonna sing your song.
Put it down.
That's right. We're gonna sing your song.
Good. I don't want to read the word.
That's ready for the kids.
Top 10.
Top 10 song.
Okay, hit it.
Jimmy Johnson, Jimmy Johnson, na tu lek la la. Ah hey ah hey ah. Aha. Jimmy Johnson, Jimmy Johnson, na tu lek la la. That's for you, grandchild.
There you go. Welcome. TV
Good
people.
girl, Vancouver, huh?
Uh-huh. Bye-bye.
Let's talk to her on the telephone.
Hard work.
She's on the phone still.
Come on.
You see us? Yes. Yes.
Good.
Hey, we're locked inside here. I think I can't get out.
We gotta get out now.
Gotta
Come
go
on.
now. Bye-bye. Come on, let's go. Hurry up.
You belong to the city.
No, which
Before
way
that,
around
you
here?
too, God, Part
Sarah,
Two.
I hear
You're from
somebody
Guns N'
talk.
Roses, Don't Cry, and Dylan and
Yes,
the
where
Dead.
is he?
Slow train right after the news at 9.
Hello?
Cruising through the
Come
9
on, we
o'clock
need
hour
help,
here in
please.
this cool territory.
Who's
And
here?
some more little stories from the
Hello,
internet there.
help us.
How the world of
Hello?
the internet here. David Bowie is celebrating his birthday. And he's got a gift for
nobody
his
here.
fans. 5
How do you
previously
do that
unavailable
anyway?
or rare versions
know,
of the
you
songs
better
will
take
debut
over.
on
Shut
50
up.
websites.
That's right, I want to be
a site
radio
for
announcer.
each year of his life. The songs will be available only for 24
Hello?
hours. They'll start at 2 p.m.
Hello?
Eastern Time.
Look,
And it
Susie,
can be accessed
I'm
at
going to hear you talk. Okay. Hello? Hello, sir. Hello? Yes. That's a good job, eh? Yes. Oh, just hit. Phone ringing. Oh, goodness. We got to put it on the air. Big problem. What's that? Say, our old man don't come home 2 days. Who said? Well, we got to tell him come home. He's in trouble. I said, Johnny. Johnny. Hello? Johnny, you better get home. You're in big trouble. Oh, boy. Yes, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get licking. Now get home. Shame on you, 2 days. I like it, son. Yeah, son. Oh, yes. Good one. Nice time. Hey, get down. Just a danger on. That's not Jimmy Johnson. That's okay. I like it. Get down. Oh, yes. Hey.
Here's Dwayne. Geez, it's fun to watch. That was a long time ago. So it's funny, the message they said, they used to put messages on the air like that. It was very personal radio. Like, get home, you dirty dog. So, any comments? I want to give Dwayne an opportunity to speak if he would like, to talk about our career has been going on since 2001. Susie and Charlie? First, you're shut up. Not knocked up. But we got married as stand in the light. Yeah, so this was my wonderful stage partner now, and we continue to have fun and help each other and heal. I did want to mention in terms of healing is if I ever not feel well before my show or physically or mentally or whatever, I always feel like 100% when I'm done performing.
Geez. 2001, when was I? I wasn't really into the arts and stuff. I was singing. We had the Teslin dancers and Sharon. She was part of that First Nations theater training with Susan Grey Eyes? Carol Grey Eyes. And so they wanted to do this production, and Sharon and Carol kept on showing up, harassing me. You gonna do this? You gonna come with this First Nations theater training? You gonna come do this First Nations thing? And so I was gonna get a restraining order on them because they just wouldn't stop. But I'm so glad that they didn't, because that's how I got into the theater. Did that First Nations theater training. And we did this play, and then, what was the name of the play again? The Heart of a Distant Tribe, yeah. And that was amazing. And then that following summer, we developed this First Nations theater performance troupe within Whitehorse, because we had the Frantic Follies and stuff, and you know, when we got off the plane today, we saw all those people dressed up in their gold rush outfits. So that was really the only presentation of the Yukon that was being presented, and so we wanted to give our history of what the Yukon, the history before there was a place called the Yukon on the Clayton maps. And so it was cultures, not just Tlingit, there was also Athabascan cultures, it was all youth, it was elders, it was just it was about a 90-minute show, 2-hour show, just celebrating Yukon's First Nation culture. And that's when we first That's when Charlie was born in 2001. She originally asked me to try to do it as Dwayne, as Grandma Susie's grandchild, and it just didn't really work. And so then I was like, oh, okay. Went to Salvation Army, got some old clothes, and then got this jacket, and so I decided to play an old man. And then on stage, I remember Grandma Susie asked, what's your name? And I'm like, the shirt was actually called Cash Creek. The shirt was called Cash Creek, so I'm like, I guess I'm Cash Creek Charlie. So 2001, that's how Cash Creek was born. But I always thank my sister, my Raven sister, that for pushing me into the arts, because there's been so much healing that in my life that I've gotten from that as well. And also the joy of being able to share laughter with others. And I got her back. She got me into the arts, I got her into politics. So she's the speaker of our general council back in Tesla. And so, how's that going? See all the grays, both of us? But I was just at my, I have two shorty Raven wives. I was at my first shorty Raven wife. I don't know, it must be the organizers. We're going to put them both on at the same time and see Dwayne run back and forth to both. So I'm at Norma's, and I'm like looking at my watch. I'm just starting to sweat because I'm like, I better get over to Sharon's soon. So I'm so glad that I got to have listened to Norma's wonderful talk. Her and I used to go dancing all the time and just paint the town red as a shorty stereo here. But I just appreciate them both and all that both of you have done for my life. And I appreciate being able to share Cash Creek Charlie with all the people. Sharon and I joke sometimes and said, you know, that one of these days we're just not going to take off Susie and Charlie because we're going to be like, geez, these pants are actually pretty comfy. I like these suspenders. But she says, thank you.
We were getting ready for a show, and we were getting dressed in with Madeline's cabin or Brooks Brook, and people are walking by, and we're going, or the people probably walking by, like, what are they doing? Here what we're doing was putting on our socks. We're not even in characters. So we're getting there. Let's see your hand up.
You know, I'm a stranger to this land. So show me this. Who's this Cash Creek? I need to see.
Yeah.
It'll take a little bit of a transformation.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Cash Creek is back in Yukon, so yeah, I wasn't able to bring it.
Sorry, we were performing this time. You can go on our Facebook, Susie and Charlie, and see some clips. There's a great clip of, I won't explain it all, but it involves a bucket of chicken and a blender, and Charlie doing a nasty dance. It's crazy. Any other comments or questions before we wrap up? Okay, well, I want to thank Savannah. Oh, Jerry?
So I wanted to say a couple of words. I wanted to thank Dwayne and Norma to be here because we Sharon, excuse me. To show you a story. Brother Andy has observed and was fortunate to see their act, and I think it was at Celebration that he saw you guys, and then invited them down to the following clan conference, and they showed up right away. And then they were very consistent at showing up, and they do performances. So I'm really happy that they're able to consistently show up. And I know that there's a challenge for you to get here this time because of transportation, but they made it. And so that because they were special to Brother Andy, they're special to the whole organizing committee and they really add quite a bit to the clan conference. And the healing and the humor, I really do appreciate you having an opportunity to talk about how humor is important amongst us, whether they're inland Tlingit or coastal Tlingit, and just regular people. They really add to it. So thank you very much. Is there any other comment or question?
Announce that there's a Kitsadi something happening, so if you could please elaborate on that.
Yeah, there is a repatriation ceremony tonight. I was asked by Louise, who is Kitsadi, and they're the host clan. It'll be right here in this room, and there's some Tapu that will be repatriated. And so we look forward to having you guys there as well. But please give these kind 6 p.m. people a round of applause.